Sig Sauer P320. Let's get into it.
All right, so here we are, Sig Sauer P320. Really nice handgun, actually. Now, I have a little bit of controversial history with this firearm. When I first purchased my original Sig Sauer, which was the P320 XC, I had issues with fitment in the magazine, which this one fits fine, works fine, and I had an issue with the takedown pin, and the takedown pin on this one, as you can see, works fine. No problem there. Flips right back around. So everything works really well on this sit.
Yeah.
Really nice trigger. Really nice trigger.
How are the sights?
Sights are good. Sights are good. Much
Jack and I shot this pistol, and it really shoots well. I really like it.
There we go.
All right, there we go. SIG P320. How did it feel?
Feels like it's missing a little bit of the grip. The hand is kind of like a little too free here. I can pull it out a little bit more.
Yeah.
I feel like it's
Yeah. But it's a comfortable gun.
it is.
How'd that trigger feel?
Really good. Probably could have been a little bit lighter for me. That sight is so bulky. It's
Yeah.
insanely bulky. It looks like it's built in the frame.
Yeah, it kind of is.
It's got like this huge retina.
Yep.
I'm a little bit awkward. I either saw the front sight or I didn't.
Yeah.
Like, where is it? There
You
it
get
is.
that little wobble
Yeah.
naturally, and yeah, you have to kind of catch the sight. So.
Right.
All
Cool
right.
gun.
Yeah, I like it.
Jury's still out on the flat trigger. I prefer a curved trigger, but this trigger felt good. Has a pretty good reset. And again, we'll do safety check. As you can see, there's no magazine in it. Safety check, everything's clear there. So we'll do the trigger pull, which is pretty light. And the reset is pretty short. Shot really good groups with this. And this is a really well outfitted pistol. It has a Picatinny style rail. The grip is very comfortable. The texture on it is really nice. Way better than a Glock. I will say that's one thing Glock is lacking, is solid texture on their firearms. The Gen 5 is a little better, but this is outstanding. Wraps all the way around. Magazine release is in a really nice spot. Actuates really well. Pretty easy. Magazine slides in and out. It's really easy to reload. There's no issues there. It's gravity drops. Actuates really well, and as you can see, it doesn't protrude out very far. It has an ambidextrous slide release or slide stop, whatever you want to call it. This one comes equipped with a a plate where you can mount optics, and it also came with night sights, which is, I really like these sights. These sights are very nice. They're tritium, they glow. Overall, this gun is very comfortable. I really like the undercut, and this is something I wish Glock would start doing. A lot of companies are starting to integrate this this undercut here, which really allows you to get a higher purchase on the firearm. You go to get a good hold on it, so that's pretty nice, and it does not interfere with the magazine catch. Overall, this pistol shot in really tight groups. Alright, so this is standing at 15 yards. This is the Glock 19 group. Not too bad. We shot 2 different groups out of the Glock 19. Had a couple flyers there, but that was just me doing sloppy trigger control. But pretty solid group, standing 15 yards. And this is both groups out of the SIG. And 2 flyers there, but overall, man, that group is tight. And again, this is standing 15 yards, and I'll show you the footage so you can see that this is actually how it groups. You see, the Glock is a little bit wider spread. The SIG was definitely a lot tighter.
Run through. I can't wait to go back. So good. Are you graduating this year or no? No, they're already there. I was gonna say, right? Yeah.
Alright, so we're gonna do 15 yards, Sig Sauer P320. Seeing it as it happens. P226, P320. Take your time and do a good group actually.
Just to give it some scale, that's my fist there. So fist size, kind of group it at 15 yards standing, not terrible. And really wasn't taking a lot of time in between shots. I was just trying to hold it. And man, I'll tell you, it impressed me the way it shot. And this is consistent for the entire day that we shot it. We shot probably about, I don't know, 3-4 magazines through it, so really not enough testing yet to decide. Again, this is the Glock 19 group from 15 yards. This is the SIG P320 from 15 yards standing, and really an outstanding group. The SIG, man, that's pretty tight, 15 yards standing. That's not too bad at all. I'll take that. Glock SIG there. SIG, I shot the SIG better, which really surprised me. So there you go. And I think it might have a lot to do with the grip. The SIG P320 feels really nice in hand. I do have to say, I have to admit that. I am some might call me a Glock fanboy. I really do like Glocks, but man, this SIG really impressed me. And it just shoots. It's a good shooter. I don't think I could recommend this gun more, honestly. So, this is definitely a full-size frame gun. If if you're going to conceal, go with the XC, the compact. The only thing to be concerned about with the SIG is earlier on in the early generations, I know they had an issue with the firing pin. If you drop this gun with one in the chamber, it could potentially go off. Now, that cannot happen in a Glock. It is impossible because Glock has a safety trigger. Right? So this little trigger detent has to be pressed, and the trigger must be pressed all the way to the rear. It still hasn't broken, so you really have to mean it to pull that trigger. Again, nothing in there, safety check. And so we're clear here, so we pull the trigger all the way back. Finally it breaks. All right. There's also a drop safety inside, all right, where the striker cannot move forward unless this trigger is pressed. So if you drop it, it's not going to matter. And there's also a third safety in. It's the firing pin safety, I believe it's called. But there's a third safety where the gun cannot actuate without all three of those mechanisms working together. So it's really a simple yet ingenious design, and there have been people throwing these at helicopters with one in the chamber. You can see videos of it online, and they still don't go off. The guy picks it up and just starts shooting it. So Glock is, people concern themselves about carrying with one in the chamber. Would not be nervous at all about any Glock, because a Glock cannot go off unless you want it to. It's all the same with Glock 19. It doesn't matter what variation of Glock, they all have the same safety features in them. So this is probably one of, if not the safest gun designs in the market, is the Glock. I mean, really, people say, well, there's no external safety on it, makes them nervous. Well, you gotta understand, as long as you use common sense, this gun will not go off unless you pull the trigger. And that's the only way this gun is ever gonna go off. If you drop it, it doesn't matter, it's not gonna go off. If you bump it against something, it's not gonna go off. If you pull the trigger a little bit, it's not gonna go off. You have to pull the trigger, and again, safety check, all the way to the rear. There's the wall, still pressing, still pressing, still pressing, there it goes. So, and the reset on the Glock is, Glock triggers aren't great, but they're safe, and they are extremely safe weapons, so don't be nervous about carrying one in the chamber Glock. The SIG P320, the trigger is way better. Again, safety check, way better trigger on this. Reset is much shorter. Okay, but not sure if SIG got that firing pin issue resolved. I know there was a couple folks online who were able to take a blank and take a mallet and get the gun to fire just by hitting it in the rear. I'll say as long as you don't drop the gun, you'll be fine. But just be leery of that. Each gun has a serial number, so if you're concerned about it, call SIG. SIG does have a recall for some models, and if your SIG is in that serial number range, you can actually send it to them and they'll replace the firing pin mechanism so that it is down drop safe. Supposedly. I can't speak on that for sure because I don't know. I haven't heard of it being a huge problem. There's not a lot of people saying that they've dropped their gun and it's gone off. So it has either been resolved or maybe it just wasn't that big of an issue to begin with. It's not on the news that people are dropping their Sig Sauers and then shooting people or themselves. Maybe that happened once or twice, but all in all, I just don't hear a lot about it. Maybe you do, but to me, I wouldn't concern myself with it too much. I think you'd still be all right. But the P320, and this is basically the same pistol that the Army issues, the M17 or whatever. Same size, same gun, just different nomenclature, and there's no external safety. But these guns are really cool. You can take this whole bottom frame off and with a different grip size. That's really cool about the SIG P320. I really like that about that modularity about them. One of the reasons that the Army claims they chose this was the modularity. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but whatever the reasons, they went with the SIG, and this is basically the same gun. So it shot straight as an arrow. It produced really tight groups, tighter groups than the Glocks did. So yeah, I really like this gun a lot. It really surprised me how good it felt. I went in kind of skeptical, thinking I wasn't gonna like it that much, but the recoil is not bad at all. I mean, it's 9mm, not horrible anyway, but very manageable. It shoots straight, gets back on target really fast. You get a nice purchase, and I have really big hands, so to me it feels great. You might like the smaller frame grip, but that's the beautiful part about it. The frames are only like $45 or something, so it's not bad. So if you feel like your frame is too big or uncomfortable, get a different size frame. It's pretty simple to do. But yeah, I would give this gun a thumbs up. I would recommend it for sure. Again, the only concern I would have would be finding out about the recall, but again, I think SIG has that issue squared away. Again, I can't say that I've heard it happening to a lot of people. I just don't hear a lot of people saying, I dropped my SIG and it went off. It just doesn't seem to happen all that often, so I don't know. But I do really like the gun. It shoots really straight. It really surprised me. And this shot the best groups of the day out of every pistol that we tested. So yeah, very impressed with the Sig Sauer. And again, I only have total about 200 rounds with this gun so far, so not really enough data to make a final decision about it, but from what I've seen so far, I really like it. I'm really impressed with it. It feels great. It does, I will admit, it does feel better than the Glock, and it does shoot tighter groups than the Glock. At least I shoot it tighter than the Glock. So you saw the paper, and paper doesn't lie. So so I really liked it. It feels good, it shoots good, puts down tight groups. I can hit targets easy with it. Some people make a big fuss about the higher bore axis. I don't really care. Like I said, I've always shot 6 hours pretty well, and this one is no exception. So, but I wasn't expecting it to shoot that tight. It definitely outperformed the Glock, that's for sure, as far as standing 15 yards in a controlled environment indoors. So, would I recommend this over a Glock? Well, I think that really boils down to your personal opinion about it. Pick up one of these guns, rip one at the range, shoot it, see if you like it. It may feel horrible to you. You may pick this gun up and don't like it at all. It may be the best thing you've ever felt. To me, I was really surprised at how good it felt and how straight it shot. Also, just a second, kind of cool. First cool is functionality, and is it reliable? Can you hit with it? Does it do its job? That's first cool, which is most important. The second cool is aesthetically, does it look cool? Yeah, this is a good looking gun. This is a really good looking gun. It's very handsome. The serrations on it, I think these press checks that people are doing up here are the dumbest thing ever. I know it's the latest craze to run up here, look cool, tactical, do it real fast, but I just don't like putting my hand around the business end of a firearm. I can get the same results back here. So if I press check, which I don't really do because I tend to know whether I have a round in the chamber or not, I think people just saw it in movies, and the Navy SEALs are checking their stuff, they're press checking. They're doing it way up here, so we gotta do it. I don't know. And maybe for you up here works. Hey, if that works for you, that works for you, whatever. But I just, if I have a round in the chamber, I don't want to be sticking my hand in the piston into my gun. That's just me. I just don't do the press checks. I think you run the risk of cycling your gun out of battery. You have to make sure it's in battery again, and I don't know. It's just know whether you have one chambered or not. You know, if you're really not sure, just do a quick press check. I use it back here. It's the same results. What's it matter? Up here, back here, it doesn't matter. But I think press checks are something that's unnecessary. That's just kind of hyped up by the tactical community. But anyway, hey, if you like doing it, and makes you feel confident that you have a round in chamber, then fine, do it. It's up to you. But just me personally. But anyway, the serrations work. They get good purchase. They feel really good. They're actually functional. The Glock's serrations, not as much traction on it, to be honest. You press check up here, press back here. I feel like I get way more traction with the SIG. The finish on the Glock is a little bit slippery compared to the SIG. SIG feels way less slippery, more texturized, get more grip. The Glock just feels pretty slippery. This new PD finish, or whatever they're calling it. It's not Tenefer anymore, which Tenefer was probably my favorite finish on the Glock, which I only have on a Gen 3. I don't know. This new finish is supposed to be amazing by Glock. It's supposed to be the greatest thing ever, but if you can see that a little bit of wear already, that's just from holstering. I think this side's even worse. Look at that. That's just from holstering. That's just putting it in and out of the holster, and that is actually the paint. The finish has rubbed off right there. Again, there's some here. You see it all the way down the side. It's just from the holster, Kydex holster. So I don't think this new finish on the Glocks are all this cracked up to be. They're saying it's the best finish ever. According to this, I would say no, it's not. But does that change the function of the gun? Nope, the Glock still works. Whatever. The finish definitely is not as strong as they want you to think it is. These Glocks, at least on this particular Glock 19 that I have. This is Gen 5 MOS. No wear on this one yet. Holstered this Glock 17, but just something to be aware of. I don't know. Sig Sauer P320, great gun. Either one you'd be more than happy with. So would I recommend this gun for purchase? Yeah, I would. I absolutely would. The price on it is pretty competitive with Glocks and all the other polymer Wonder 9s on the market right now, so not a bad price for this gun actually. Which usually Sig Sauer, they're way overpriced in everything they do, which is one of the things I never liked about SIG. They were just so way overpriced. Good guns, good stuff, but just the SIG P320, for instance, legendary gun, fantastic gun. Get almost 3 Glocks for one P320. Just Sig Sauer is very expensive, but their pricing has come down. Their pricing is now very competitive in the market with most of the other major big player manufacturers. So I don't know. I like it. SIG P320. Would recommend. Again, if you're nervous about the drop issue, just contact SIG. They'll tell you if you need a recall or not, and they'll do it for you for free, from what I understand. So, again, haven't heard of that happening. So, yeah, I was very impressed with the accuracy in this gun. impressed with how it felt, how it shot, and I did like the way it felt more than the Glock. This is coming from a Glock fanboy. Yes, I love Glocks, love my Glocks, but hey, results don't lie, and the SIG P320 shot tighter groups. It felt better in my hands, so I still want to shoot this a lot more to get some better info about it, get some better feedback from it, to test it, to see if I'm going to have any issues with jamming or anything like that. Generally, I think these things work. Again, I don't hear a lot of people having problems with their P320s. I think most people are pretty happy with them. So, and I think I'll be no exception. So, I look forward to shooting this more, but as far as I know, as of right now, I don't see any reason why you would have not to pick up a P320 if you so want one. So, there you go. I would recommend it. And again, guys, this is from a hardcore Glock guy. I have exclusively carried Glocks for the past 10 years. Glocks only, but hey, this P320 line is pretty darn good, so I really like it. And I'm impressed with it. Good job, SIG. Good gun. So, would recommend. Again, I would recommend going to the range, testing this out from your local gun shop, local gun range, see if you like it, see if it fits for your hand, because that's really the big thing. The most important thing about the gun you choose is, does it fit your hand? Is it comfortable? And can you hit targets with it? Can you connect with your target that you're shooting? Because who cares how cool the gun looks? Can't hit anything, then it's not going to matter. If you ever need it, you're just going to die with a cool looking gun because you can't hit what you're shooting at. So again, really well optioned gun, night sights, optics mounting capability, accepts all 1913 Picatinny rail accessories, lights, stuff like that, lasers, whatever you want. Yeah, and again, takedown, really simple. Magazine, pop this back, turn the lever, and there you go. And then you just take your spring out, take your barrel out. It's field strip. If you want to break it down further, you just wiggle this out, take the whole fire control group out, pop it into grip size, push this back in. Forward. We're ready to get a function check. Everything works, so yeah. So when SIG builds a gun right, they build it right. I have heard of a lot of people though having issues with this takedown pin, like I had on the little XC, and I think it's because SIG kind of got too big for their own good there for a minute, where they had so much quantity to make up for, their quality started slacking a little bit. And again, these aren't major unfixable issues that SIG is happening. They're just small little manufacturing errors, tolerance errors. One pistol out of every 100, 200, 300 might have a little tolerance issue. It's no big deal. If that's the case, SIG will understand, will fix anything for you. They have a lifetime warranty on their products. So, yeah, I would not hesitate buying a SIG Sauer. So, we shot this gun. Jack liked it. I liked it. And this really impressed me at how straight it shot. The groups were excellent. And the trigger feels fantastic on it. Everything about the gun just feels good when you go to cock it. It just feels like a gun. So, good balance. And yeah, I would highly recommend. So that is the Sig Sauer P320. Thumbs up from me, a hardcore Glock guy. Great job, SIG, on that one. If you so want one, go pick it up because it's a really good firearm. I think you would be more than capable of betting your life on. Sig Sauer makes good stuff, and again, if you do find that you have some issues from the factory, which is rare for SIG, but it does happen. I have seen a lot of videos lately of people complaining about the tightness of this takedown pin. You can look it up yourself, go on YouTube and type SIG P320 issues. You'll see people having some issues. Does that mean SIG is a bad company? No, SIG is an outstanding company. They build outstanding guns. Most of them are going to work just fine. Probably just a few that slip through the cracks. It's not a big deal. We'll fix it. So there you go. Every manufacturer has their errors. Even Glock, when the Gen 4s came out, they had to redo their springs. So there's an issue there. So even almighty Glock has issues. Even SIG has issues. Every manufacturer has issues. It happens. That's the nature of mechanical things. There are recalls, and most companies that are credible will stand by their product and they'll fix it for you. So with that in mind, I would say SIG P320 gets a passing grade, shoots excellent groups, feels great in the hand, feels really well balanced, and is a lot of fun to shoot. Their recoil management is pretty easy. So if you're looking to carry, I would go with the XC version, which cuts the barrel here, and the handle I think is a little shorter as well, but you still have the same designs. Yeah. Anyway, great gun. Really like shooting this one. Jack liked it, and from what I hear, most people that have these guns really like them too. So, again, Sig Sauer has not paid me any money to say this. They don't know I exist. Again, I'm a hardcore Glock guy, but this SIG really impressed me. So I wouldn't have any trouble at all carrying this. I would feel confident in carrying this. Although I would go with spraying. If I'm going to daily conceal, I would go for the XC, the P320 XC compact version. So it matches, feels very similar. So, and again, 17 rounds, 18 with one in the chamber. I mean, just that's tough to beat. So anyway, there it is, SIG P320. If you want it, pick it up. Would recommend.